Can we come on, Hop? For old time's sake. Oh, look.
Ivan Lock. Okay, that's how he answers his phone. He doesn't go, hello. Ivan Lock.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
Hello, it is me, Itisdpayne. I have fact.
We're gonna jump into fact. No
Sure,
little blurbs, no little fun. Tidbits.
I do have the thing that I mentioned 2 weeks ago written down. I wrote it down and I've been staring at it since we.
Oh, you remembered? I didn't remember.
I did because I keep looking down.
Do you want to start with that or the A24 fact?
I'll just start with the A24 fact because I have the tab up and it means I get to get rid of one of my 82 tabs I have open.
Only 82.
That's
impressive.
right. Well, it's not that much, but it feels like a lot when I see that I have like 8 things for like things that are free world Anvil alternatives. But yeah, the 13th fact was Moonlight was the company's first original production.
What year did that come out?
It was 17, 18. I think.
2016. That was the first original. It's a good original to kick it off with.
Yeah. Well, I think they're just more of a production. Hold up. Where's our spreadsheet? Let's see. Life After Beth came out. Hold up. This will be an easier way to do this. A24, Wikipedia. I want to see their release dates. Films. Okay, 20. Where's Moonlight? Moonlight is. I'm looking at. Hold on. What is this? Release date. I thought Moonlight released like in early.
Moonlight? It says it released 2016.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. Okay, October.
Oh, okay.
So that means, let's see, the movie. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 movies that came out before Moonlight's as its original.
I have more listed on this wiki.
Oh, I'm saying, sorry, I didn't finish my thought. There is definitely more, but I was saying the ones that are on our
our personal list. Okay.
So, the earliest was Locke. Can we come on, Hop? For old time's sake. Oh, Locke.
Ivan Lock. Okay, that's how he answers his phone. He doesn't go, hello. Ivan Lock.
Yeah. Alright, so there's Locke and then Life After Beth. Those were both 2014. And then Ex Machina.
2015.
That came out on my birthday.
I think Green Room is also.
Green Room, yeah. So it's Ex Machina is 2015. 2016 is The Witch, The Green Room, The Lobster, and Swiss Army Man. Well, there you guys. You know we're watching Swiss Army Man. and then Moonlight. So about a third of the movies.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was
It was wild to think that was their first original production. Like, I don't know what constitutes as original production just versus produced. Like, is an original production, like, the director, the writer all work for A24?
I don't know.
We don't have to get into it now, because you're
am.
already in it.
I'm just curious, but there's no way. I don't know how to tell. I was just more wondering a Ghost Story is the next one after Moonlight. Well, it's not the next. There's bunch in between.
Yeah. But what versus like what was produced after Moonlight versus what's still considered an original production? That's a question for another day.
You know, it'd be interesting if everything before, where is it? Moonlight. If they have the quiet, silent opening, where it's like, is my
No, what year did Marcel come out?
Marcel came out.
Was that during the pandemic?
Yes.
Okay. That's the one movie, like, I don't know. I didn't feel like, maybe because I've been watching a lot of these at a lower volume, but the only one that startled me was Marcel. Where I was really unsure if my audio was broken or not.
Well, it's more like, now I come to expect it, but it was like the first handful that we watched. I'm like, is my audio working?
Oh, wait. Marcel was also the first one we recorded. No, second one we recorded for this series.
Yeah. Oh, well. It's not that important. What is important is I learned about... I have trouble waking up in general. Like, my brain, my body, everything fights against me to like wake up. I have the fun combination of I hate going to sleep and I hate waking up. I like the act of sleeping. I just don't like the beginning and the end of it. And so I was reading, and this is definitely based off of my reading of the Darkness Manifesto, reading about light. And one of the things that they mentioned in there is like, yeah, the circadian rhythm of light, like it helps you go to sleep and helps you wake up. And my brain was like, I wonder if I get one of those sunrise alarm clocks, the ones that have the light, like, would it work? It does.
Yeah, I thought about getting one, but I just didn't.
Yeah, I got a cheap one. Mainly, I was like, I'm not going to drop like $80 on one of these fancy ones if I'm going to sleep through it. Mm-hmm. And so I bought like this cheap $30 one, which everyone's like, that's cheap. Yes, compared to some of the ones I've seen, it's cheap. And then there's like, you can get like different sounds. Like this one, I think I have it set to the ocean. You can hear the ocean waves. I stop it before I hear it, though.
You don't want it.
I get very self-conscious in the morning while sharing an apartment, like, of how loud everything is. But with the sound of my phone in the morning and just I have one of those things where it's like you got to put in like codes and a maze and all this stuff to like force myself to get up, and it's terrible, especially since it's like, hey, we're gonna give you alert like within 5 minutes to see if you're awake. And that only works like a quarter of the time. Like it will come in as the alarm is going off, and I'm like, "What the heck?"
Too many
I'm
noise.
awake. I'm like, I'm awake, brushing my teeth, and it's just like, it's like put in codes. I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I had it set up for Sunday, like. Because last week I was just cleaning and organizing all this junk, and I was like, cool, this is fun, but I went to bed too late, and by the time I definitely slept through it, which that's fine. But I was like, we'll see how this works. And then on Monday the thing was just like, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's light. What the heck is going on? It's like at 6 o'clock the light's on. I'm like, oh, and the thing is, I've been using it all week, and it actually wakes me up. But the problem is, I'm now getting less sleep because I have it set earlier.
Thinking that you wouldn't wake up right away.
Well, I don't know how when the sun thing happened. Like, I don't know when it actually starts.
Did the one that you buy, is it one of those like gradual ones where it says like it's supposed to get brighter until you're supposed to wake up? Okay.
Yeah, it only has like 4 settings. So like I don't know how, like I remember like I woke up at the second to last one and I'm like, "Oh, that's a light. What's going on?" And then it was like the last one ticked on right as I was staring, like
I'm surprised. So me, if I had bought one of those, I probably would have set it to some like arbitrary time so I could sit there and just like watch it to see how it lights.
It was not intuitive to set the clock. So I'm just like, just here. That's why it was $30. You got to pay an extra $50 for good controls. But yeah. But no, I saw like it's not like a gradual like because I woke up at the second to last setting and it's just like it's not like what, it's just like boom bump. So, but it works, and that's why Wednesday I was more tired than normal because
adjusting to this new sleep. Yeah,
I'm adjusting to someone shining a flashlight in my eyes and just like, you awake? Because I also don't have a lot of places to put it, and so it's just right next to my face.
Oh, so you're getting full radiance.
Yeah, and thankfully I'm like not turning it off while, because like all I have to do is like tap it and turn it off. So like I leave it on and I just stare at it until like the problem is like I'll stare at it and my brain doesn't comprehend what time it is. And so like I was late to work one day because I'm just like, the light is on. I should probably get up to get ready for work. The light is on. And so I eventually got to work and regretted it.
Yes. No, that is a fun thing. I see why you wanted to save that, because we had already like talked a little bit, and like to get the full reach of the story, you did need the full intro time. Yeah, good story.
Yeah, so little steps to eventually make my life slightly better. Just like this movie.
Better? Sure.
Hey, for one character, their life got worse before it got better.
I would say for some of the characters, they got the sweet release of death because they were not doing hot leading up to everything.
There's a lot of people that weren't doing hot in this movie.
But in any case, yes, we're continuing.
Do you think this is a Christmas movie?
There's no snow. There's
no snow here when it's Christmas.
There was this year. We did get snow this year.
Did we? I don't remember. I wasn't looking outside.
I'm sure you drove in it. It was a weekday. It was like Tuesday we got.
Is that when Christmas was? Christmas was on a Monday.
No, but I just mean like if it's supposed to be in New England. Hast thou found thine? Sorry.
Since we look,
I need it. Wait,
Christmas.
Wait. I didn't do the thing. I didn't do the bit. We said our A24 fact because we are watching 24 A24 films for 2024. This is episode 13, so we're past the halfway point.
Can you say that as Ivan Locke?
You'll have to listen to that impression in episode 11. You're not getting...
or 10 minutes ago.
But if you'd like to watch the rest of the episodes, we have watched a ton of movies. We're not going to list them all off, but...
I will.
It's fun. Some of these movies, I've been like, wow, that makes me think. And some of the movies I go, wow, those poor people. It's a shame they have to think.
Yep. And then, I don't know. My brain's also like, this is a thing.
Okay. I just wanted to get it out there because I figured we were going to roll dice soon-ish. Might as well do the intro.
Yeah. And then, spoilers abound for this movie that came out in 2015?
16?
According to IMDb, 15.
Oh, 15. Oh, right. Moonlight was 2016.
Yeah.
But in any case, yes. So we will roll D100. That is 100-sided dice. I'm doing it digitally through my phone. Dpayne has
I'm
some
doing it
dice.
physical with stinky cheese dice.
We do that because we have played tabletop games like Call of Cthulhu, and then you use 100-sided dice in that. And this is kind of like the same kind of vibe. It's the same area that
Right
Lovecraft would have written about.
Yeah, it's right next to Delta Green on my shelf.
It's all lined up.
Yep. Delta Green, the game that nobody heard of. Well, it's probably better.
I think I'm finally giving a synopsis this week.
What'd you roll?
10.
I rolled a 9.
It's like last week when you were like, oh, I rolled an 80. I was like, I rolled a 90.
Yeah. I kind of wish I didn't, so that way we could have gotten Ivan Locke. Ivan Locke as the synopsis, and no one knows what the movie was about.
Yeah, so
Go ahead.
if you don't want spoilers and you want to watch the movie first before we discuss it, turn back now. Otherwise,
Sucks to be you.
off we go.
Yes. The other thing is that after this, we'll start a 30-minute timer where it's just going to be full word vomit and spoilers, as Hop just said. And then from there, well, I don't know. We have some potential closing questions. Somewhat. We asked...
Final thoughts.
Yes. And with that, I'm stalling so that way I can start the timer. Right? Nope, that's Instagram. That's not the timer.
That's not a timer.
I don't know why my brain thought that was the clock. They don't look anything alike. Right. So, this movie is about a family who is kicked out of their 1600... It's set in the 1600s New England area.
Puritans and all that.
Yep. And pretty much it opens up with the family... being forced to leave the settlement because the father of that group is unwilling to
Church things.
Yeah, I don't think
I think he's more strict or something like that. Like they were like, your beliefs don't line up with our beliefs, and he's like, Jesus will turn his back on you. That kind of like.
Yeah, and so pretty much they're like, okay, well, repent or leave, and he's like, I'm gonna leave. I have a deep voice that doesn't seem to match my body. But anyway,
think it was interesting. The adults cast in this all looked like starving people, but they knew they couldn't ask that of the children. So all the children looked really healthy, and all the parents looked very like.
Yeah, it was silly. But so they do that, and then they kind of go. I think they got a 2-for-1 set share with the village. It felt like, but they kind of go find a clearing. They start a life, and very quickly they have a baby that is stolen literally under Thompson, one of the main characters, and then from there. Shenanigans, witchcraft, and family issues all start to arise. Mm-hmm. And with that, I'm going to start the timer. I also realize my eyes are not, like, my camera's here. I keep staring at the wall behind it like it has something there, but there's nothing there.
You're a streamer. You're trained to look right into the camera lens.
But I'm not. I'm looking to the right of the camera.
You're reading the script off the wall. That's all.
There's a script. All right, starting the time in 3, 2, 8, 1.
I thought this was I don't know, for me. For me, it didn't read as a horror movie, just as kind of like a film adaptation of like old wives' tales of the time.
Yeah, it has horror elements, but
it's more atmospheric.
Yes. I guess, yeah, this would be a thriller.
Yeah, like in the way that like at first, so when I had people talking to me about this movie, I was under the impression it was the same director as like Hereditary and Midsommar, because when Hereditary and Midsummer
Ari.
had, yeah, when those came out, everyone was like, "Don't forget to watch The Witch." So I assumed, and then when I looked into the director, it's the same director as The Lighthouse, and I'm like, that makes more sense in my head. You haven't watched The Lighthouse yet, but I have.
No,
But it
I'll
does
have to watch it soon.
yeah, I think their storytelling is a little bit more similar, where it's like if you had to put it in a film genre, it is horror, but like, is it?
Maybe.
Whereas Hereditary and Midsummer are very much like, I know I'm a horror movie and I'm going to lean into it and I'm going to keep leaning into it.
I'm going to make sure you think what a horror movie is after watching this. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, if, because when did Hereditary come out? Was that 17?
I want to say, I forget which
18,
one.
2018.
Yeah, I think Midsummer was before Hereditary.
Why is there a Hereditary 2 here on IMDb?
No, thank you.
It's apparently in development, but there's no information
Oh,
there.
no, Midsummer's 2019. Apologies.
Yeah. So, yeah, they didn't even come out close to each other. Anyway, but I guess the way people could say that Hereditary, and like, I don't want to, we kind of did this with Midsummer, so I don't want to be like comparing everything to Hereditary. But it's like, it both has that witchcraft, culty kind of element, but like expressed differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I also, this is very early where I'm like, I don't know a lot about babies, but they shouldn't be running off like that. Because it's like, peekaboo, peekaboo, and then next thing it's just like, what the? And the leaves are moving.
Yeah, the baby grew legs.
Yeah. It's Kung Pao.
Yeah, overall, like, I think this is fine. I don't know. I think... No. Here's what I'll say. I think it was a little bit too straightforward for me to really put it high up there as far as, like, movies. Like, from the very beginning, I was like... It's not that I could see how everything happened, but as soon as I saw the goat, I was like, okay.
Yeah. Black Phillip.
Yeah, and then the fact the kids were singing and talking about things they didn't know about, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I've never, in A24, I've been able to say, like, wow, I don't hate the kids in this movie. That's surprising, because it's really easy for kids to be annoying. And boy, every time the twins showed up on screen, I was like,
man.
please, don't talk.
Yeah. That's why they were on leashes in the middle of the movie. But yeah, it's... yeah, because when they were singing the poem, or the little girl was singing the like...
I'm the witch of the woods.
Yeah. And I'm like, man. Oh, and then it's, I think Tom said, like, when she's like, you're the witch. And she's like, no. And she's like, you're the witch. And like, you know what? Yeah, I am. What are you going to do about it? And then
Very
it's just
sibling
like,
thing, yeah.
And then she's like, and I think I wrote, like, wow. Playing imagination was way different back then. Because she's like, yeah, I'm going to take you in the woods and rip your skin off or something.
I assumed that these kids didn't have an imagination because, like, they were working all the time. I assumed a lot of their quote-unquote imagination was just, you know, their father going, you know what happens to bad kids? This is what happens to bad kids. And the kids internalized it. I know you said, what was it? When we last talked, you were like, I'm excited to talk about religious trauma with you.
Yeah, it's one of the... it's... Because the one thing I'm glad about this, because they definitely could have gone down there knowing the time period, is like, there is definitely, like, the dad definitely is religious, like, yeah, Christian at that point.
Some denomination, like he could be Anglican as well.
Yeah,
but
I think it's
yeah.
Anglican. Yeah, I think it's that. And pretty much the Protestant line of Christianity.
Yeah, depending how soon they got off the boat from London.
Yeah. And so, but the thing is, like, that's the religious tensions and all that. That isn't the focus of why they left. It's like the more the focus is there is there is an unseen entity among them, which you find out later. It's like it's very much seen. They're just not looking for it. That is there. It is predator. It's that is kind of working themselves around there, and it's like the dad is like he's whether it's coming off the best, it's just like because I think what's an interesting scene is it's near the end, where he's like let's see, it's Caleb when he's they've lost him in the woods. It's and I'm trying to think I can't remember if this is when he first came back or not. I'm trying to remember. I think it's when they came, or if it's no, it's when he dies. Okay, so when Caleb dies, and then he locks the rest of the kids up in the stable. Mm-hmm. He the dad starts like pretty much praying like in the rain and all that stuff as Thompson watches, and he's like Lord, I've sinned, I've done all this stuff, and you're like, oh, is this going to be the reason why? And it's just like, this is all because I'm being too prideful. This never would have happened if I just did not listen to my pride and like just asked for forgiveness and everything. And so he's like, it's like and he's trying his best, like whether it comes out the best way or not, to make sure his family's going on, but it's just like it doesn't seem like it's like one thing start popping off. Like we don't have the build up. It's just kids gone, and then it feels, I don't know if it says how long or if there's any record. Like it feels like it's in the course of a week.
Yeah, I think they say that it's,
I think like when the baby is taken, and then when I think they,
because they say that the mom hasn't slept for days or something like that.
Yeah, so like, yeah, I would imagine it's like, yeah, anywhere between 5 to 6 days or something like that.
Yeah, it's like long enough, because the dad says like even if a wolf didn't eat Samuel, he would have starved by now. Yeah. So it's like long enough that it's concerning, but it's short enough that the mom hasn't completely broke from not sleeping at all, because she stays up all night praying and crying.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's this is the other thing, going back to as we were my first introduction to this movie wasn't other people talking about it. It's back when I used to watch CinemaSins.
And did you watch that before watching the movie?
This was, I watched it years ago, and so I realized there's parts when there's parts, because like it's not approved, but it's like Caleb is definitely starting to go through puberty, and the only person there that is just like, it's his sister. And so it's like, I'm not approving of it, but he's just like, I can see changes too. But there's a part where like he goes with his dad into the woods there because they're setting up the trap and everything. And there's two things that kind of made me laugh. Like they set up the little like metal bear trap thing, and then Caleb's like, I need to confess something, and he starts talking to his dad. And he's like, he begins asking like a bunch of different questions. I can't remember the full context.
It's basically like he asks his dad, he's like, what about us is born in sin? And then his dad is just like, yeah, like, you have to prove that you're not sinful. And he's like, well, like, if I'm born of sin, what about my brother? Is he in hell? And he's like, don't talk to your about your son, or don't talk about your brother that way. And he's like, but you just said we're born of sin. I'm confused, Dad. Explain it to me.
Yes. A debate that still people have.
Oh, yeah, because Samuel's not baptized, and that's another crux of the story. Yeah.
Yeah, so the problem is, I couldn't pay attention to that scene, because the dad, he sets up that trap and then immediately crouches in front of his son. And I'm like, guy.
How far away are you? Yeah.
I'm like, you're like just a hair away from not having any more kids. Like, it's like, that's all I was like thinking of. And then, yeah, so he goes and like, I know he has that like talk with his dad. And then I wrote like, there's this, they're down. This is when they're all down at the creek, and he like looks, and she's like, "What do you do?" Like he's like looking like out of the corner, he's like,
glancing,
nothing. And I just wrote, Gail's gonna have to make another confession. But then also it's, I think I can't remember the exact joke that Cinema Sins wrote because I watched it years ago, but it was it was like what I wrote made me think it was like, boy, that's your sister.
Yeah, but you're right, though. He is, like, his family uprooted him, so he doesn't see other people. So it's like, what is he supposed to do with those feelings? And then, like, the mom to have the audacity, you have seduced your brother. And she's just like, what did I do? She's like, I see how he looks at you. Who, what? I don't, what?
Yeah. Well, there's definitely, like, there's, it doesn't come out and say it or really show it, but there's just, like, the Thompson's definitely has like trauma or something, because it's just like whenever like she tries to say something, it's just like, I'm sorry, and just like repeats the same like lines over and over, and the like mom's like, that's not what I asked you. And it's just like,
well, I mean, like,
I don't think she knows what to say at that point.
I think it's example of like whether or not they had troubles before everything. I think we're supposed to, as viewers, believe that her mother blames Thomason for everything, so and hasn't gotten over it, and is like, you know, Thomason should have known better, blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, but like Thomason is, I don't know, what, maybe like 14, 15? Like, she's not well, I guess in those times she's an adult, because they were talking about sending her away. They were just like, get rid of her, get gone. But yeah, I think the thing that was really interesting was just how Thomason finally gets her chance to be like, all of you just hate me. And the dad's like, we don't hate you. And she's like, yeah. So then why does mom yell at me? Why do you let mom yell at me? Why do I have to take care of twins that tell me that I'm a witch? Why doesn't anyone listen to me? Why doesn't anyone do anything about that freaky goat? Why do you chop wood all day and let us starve? And the dad's like, don't you dare be truthful about how I'm a shitty dad.
And a terrible hunter.
and a terrible husband who lies to my wife and lets my daughter get yelled at for it. Like that. And then and then the terrible father that takes the son into the woods and convinces the son that he's able to go in the woods. Because like they have the whole bit where the son and the dad go in the woods to set up the traps. And the son's like, how did you buy these? He's like, don't tell your mother. I sold her silver cup. And then they go to dinner. And the mom is like, Thomason, you lost my cup when there's nowhere to lose it. How the hell did you do that? And Thomason's like, what cup? I didn't touch your cup. She's like, wow, I can't believe my daughter's lying to me. And the husband's just like, she didn't touch the cup. She said she didn't do it. She didn't do it.
Yeah. But that's like the other thing. Like they're constantly like
sinning. They're lying all the time.
Yeah, they're lying especially to the mom all the time. Where it's just like they're all covering for
gaslight.
Yeah, the dad, because there was the cup.
Setting later, up the traps in the woods.
Setting the traps where it's like, I thought I found apples, and she's like, well, why didn't you tell me? And it's just like, ooh, no wonder he's going out and chopping wood again. And then it's just like, oh man, the other thing where like he's trying to like just like comfort her like about the loss of the child, and then there's like they're talking, and then she's like, children, go to bed. And they're just like,
You better
just
not
sitting
be
still.
awake up there listening
Yeah.
to talk shit on you.
Yeah, but then it's just like, the dad's voice is so booming that it's like, I'm pretty
There's
sure
no
the next
way.
cabin, like
If there was one.
30 country miles, like I'm pretty sure the village could hear this dude talk the way like.
Yeah, because they said if
he's
they
got
go...
great narrator voice.
Oh, yeah. They said if they go down to the village, it's a day's ride with a
He's
horse.
in the Green Knight? Oh, he was the Green Knight.
Like the...
Yeah.
Knight. Oh. He is Sir Gawain.
No, he's the one that Gawain goes and fights.
Oh, okay.
The Green, the Green Knight.
But what I was going to say is, did they say it's like a day's travel with the horse? Because he was like, I have to leave now to get Caleb to a doctor because I don't have a horse. Because Caleb was like, I'm a big grown-up. Instead of my sister having to be sold off, I'm going to go open up all the traps and feed the family and we'll have money.
He's like, I'm trying my best. And then the sister's like, take me with you. No. I'm going to tell Mom. Fine. Let's see. It doesn't tell us.
But yeah, we haven't mentioned the most important part. What happened to Samuel?
Which one's Samuel? Is that
The baby.
Oh. he got yoinked.
he got mortar and pestled.
Yeah. It was like a very uncomfy sacrifice scene where it's just like, it's like, yeah, I can understand what's happening and it's like what it's showing, but then it was like, that lingered on baby a little too much for him.
Where's that hand going?
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I get the point.
And then it cut to the mortar pestle, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yes.
We're not even gonna, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm
good.
like, I'd much rather it just jump to there. I wish it jumped to there earlier. I'm like, I understand what they're going for, but it's just like, okay, you creepy hand.
Creepy hand, old lady.
She needs some
Creepy
lotion.
hand, old lady, hot lady, booby lady.
Yeah. The next Dr. Seuss book.
But yeah, like, if I do feel bad for the mom, because in all things considered, you can tell that she really hates living there. She's really stressed out. She
Just
doesn't know.
like Minori.
She doesn't know if her kids are going to be taken care of out here, but her husband's so hard-headed. And if you really look at it, my guess is, like, she had Samuel, and she was very excited, and she was hopeful. She's like, at least I have something to, like, concentrate and raise and, like, take care of. And then Samuel goes, and she's just like, we're all going to die here. Something's wrong. It's all over. And everyone's like, no. We're going to turn it around. Everything's A-okay. And she's like, it doesn't feel right. I feel bad. And they're like, shh, just go to sleep. Just pray a little harder. It'll be better in the morning. And every day she wakes up and goes, something else is going wrong. Because, like, he can't farm. All the corn is bad. He hasn't caught any food. The winter is approaching. And her kids are buttheads. The two youngest.
Oh, yeah. I wish they died earlier, but that's just me.
I know. I felt so bad when, like, Thomason is just trying to prove to her family that she's not a witch, and she was, like, joking to scare her little sister. And then the twins in unison are like, oh no, I have the devil in me too. And the parents are like, look what you did to them. She's like, I don't know what's happening.
And she's like, I don't know what these little freakazoids are doing. And then it's just like, they're like spazzing out because they're praying for Caleb. And then it's just Caleb, he has a time before dying.
He enjoyed his exit.
Yeah. I also wrote, because he's docking and then he just like shoots out an apple. And I'm like, this is why you chew your food. But yeah, they're doing all that, and then it's just like Thompson, she gets down and she's praying like no problem, like, but then the twins are like no, and they're like, the dad's like, pray for. It's just like they're at that time they're just like, look me in the eyes and tell me if you're a witch, and it's just like, I'm I'm not a witch. Just
And he's like, then what are your twin siblings doing? She's like, I don't know what they're
don't
just
know.
doing that. And she's like, and then later she's like, they sing about Black Phillip, the prince or whatever, and I don't know who that is. Why do you think they know who that is? He's like, are you telling me this goat is evil? And the dad's like, if the goat's evil, then I've been dancing with the devil. It's like, well, news to you, son.
Yeah. And then, yeah. And then, yeah, because then they get locked in the little cabin or the stable. And then it's like, that's when the witch comes in, eats the one goat. And then the twins are gone. I wish that happened earlier. But the twins are taken. And then Thompson's just, like, the dad comes out and just looks at the thing and just sees Thompson just also waking up. She's like, I don't know. And then she's like, hey Dad, watch out. And then back Philip's like, what's up?
Headbutts.
It's like,
yeah,
I heard you talking about me.
And he dies by the wood. But yeah, I was trying to do the thing, like, I know Midsummer has the thing where they have the whole plot is revealed if you pay attention to the art. So I was paying attention to what Caleb was saying, because the mom has the nightmare sequence where Raven shows up, and then the goat, and I was like, where's the wolf? He mentions a wolf, and I was very upset that there was no wolf that randomly showed up in the woods.
I thought he was quoting scripture or something.
Well, he was. I'm pretty sure he was, but like the things he was saying, like when he was like, it shall come by raven, it shall come by goat, he'll raise the thin axe to be brought down onto the head. And then following, the mom she wakes up in the middle of the night thinking she sees her dead kids, and then a raven is picking at her. And then the dad goes out and the goat starts attacking him, and he goes to pick up the axe, but then he dies by the wood, which is the only thing he was good at. And I was like, oh, I think he mentioned a wolf. And I was like, oh, there's no wolf. Because I thought I was like, oh, I'm on to something.
The wolf was Black Phillip the whole time.
Oh, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
And goat's clothing.
Goat's clothing.
Yeah. And then
I did think it was funny when the mom was like, you have the blood of the twins on your hand. She's like, I don't know whose blood this is. There's just blood everywhere.
and then she definitely gets blood on her hands.
Yeah.
I could actually, you know what? I think I was also saying, I could see why people would say, like, oh, if you like Hereditary, watch this too. Because it's
Mommy-daughter issues.
The mom and child issues, except rather than being totally led by a cult to go do the thing she's doing, it's the circumstances around her and just lashing out.
Yeah. So, like, I do have a question for you. Do you think the setup for the prince, Black Phillip, was because he just wanted a witch around the age of Thomason's age? So he was like, if I get rid of the family, I get the girl. Because that's how I kind of interpreted the ending.
It just seemed like they were close. And she, like, because they didn't have Black Phillip before they left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they say how they got him onto the farm?
Was that the scene when
in the very beginning, he got out of the pen and they put him in. But I had assumed that they had already owned him. Because the dad could handle him. Like, he grabbed him by the horns and put him back into the pasture.
Yeah.
But it's also the whole foreshadowing trick, right? Like, the goat versus the dad was in, like, the first, 5 minutes. And then goat versus dad later is brought up again.
Yeah, it's... I forgot the question. Because
Did they have the goat before or after going on that farm?
Because it says in the Wikipedia that it's the family's billy goat, Black Phillip. But I don't remember the goat with them when they were taken off.
They had the goat. Okay, but we don't have a scene of them packing and leaving. But the goat is on the farm in the very beginning of the movie.
Yes. I figure it's in the beginning. I guess because there's definitely time that passes. And so
between exile and this farm.
I'm just thinking of the very beginning when they're leaving. I didn't see any... I don't remember seeing any animals walking alongside or on the thing. So I guess the family billy goat, they could have just found... I don't think that any animals are really there until we have the time jump when they have homes built and everything.
Right.
So like part of me wonders if it's just like, since they're so isolated, Black Phillip's just like, hey, I'll take what I can get. And it's just like he goes there and spends a little bit of time, finds out what their issues are, and it's like, hey, like, because
I found an article about the goat that's actually kind of funny. It says that like they went around to different trainers and they picked the goat that they thought looked the most like him. It says that quote, if we wanted him to be something violent, he wanted to go to sleep, and if he was supposed to be standing still, he was running around like a madman. And it says that the actor for the father, he dropped 30 pounds to look like a starving farmer. And he said, I didn't have a lot of gas in the tank, really. The actor says of sparring with a beast who weighed about 50 pounds more than him. He was horrible, really, really horrible. From the moment we set eyes on each other, it was kind of hate at first sight. We had two modes, chilling out and doing nothing, or attacking me.
yeah, it was funny because when I was watching
the
movie,
goat dislodged a tendon in his ribs.
so that was a real scene at the end. Yeah, it was. Oh, what was it? Because because the X-ray thing, because when I was watching it on Amazon, it had like the little facts, and they're like, the director talked about how well behaved all the animals were, and then it showed like it was a scene with Black Phillip, and they're like, Black Phillip had more scenes, but they couldn't get him to behave enough to shoot those scenes.
It does say that they did like it was a lot of credit to the editing team to like go through what footage they did have to like
Yeah.
make it happen.
But no, I guess just from the one watch, like I could foresee like Black Phillip allowing himself to be brought in, like with the fact that they're so isolated, and then kind of just saying like, is this even something I can work with? Because
oh, can I sow discontent?
Yes.
If I can, then I have a victim.
because he starts with the children, and then it's like because like it feels like he can start with the children, start getting going, because I kind of like how it is where the children are saying things that they shouldn't know, and it's kind of implied that they've been speaking with Black Phillip.
Yeah, because she's like, think of all the rhymes that they come up with. What whispers to them? What is the visage of the devil himself other than a black goat? And the dad's like, don't talk about my kids, they're out that way. And she's just like, I'm Thomas, and it's like, I'm just so tired. Please.
And so so they have that. So like an earlier theory I had, which I wrote before like we have the end of Thomason joining the witches, I was like, I wonder if the witches want a new body. Like they just want a younger model, so that's why they got
close.
Yep.
Because the very beginning implies that, because like I was like, oh, they're sacrificing a baby for a youth potion, because that's a very popular like wives' tale, like watch your babies or they'll use to live forever.
So, but and it's
I guess and like in theory they tried to get through Caleb, but Caleb wasn't able to handle it because his resolve is too strong. Because even I guess it is hinted at the beginning, because one of the opening sequences after they leave is Thomason praying, saying like, I do all these things and I live in sin and I'm not a perfect person, but like please forgive me. But it's all like interesting watching it as me, who's not very religious, where she's like, I play on Sabbath, and I'm like, what do I do every Sunday? Whatever I want.
Well, then comes the fun conversation that a lot of Protestants like, I play on the Sabbath. It's like, well, if you want to be real, the Sabbath is actually Saturday. What that whole tradition's based off of. Well, that's a different conversation. But
so Caleb is not one that could be coerced, because I think he was battling too many things and is like, he clearly looked up to his father and was like, I want to be everything he is. And he's a scary guy that when conversations get hard goes, time to read the scripture. Instead of going, we should talk it out as family, goes, bring out the book. We're reading from it. Because the whole dinner sequence was so uncomfortable. Again, with like the whole, you stole my cup. And he's like, she didn't steal your cup. And then when everybody gets uppity, he's like, you know what? We're going to read from the Bible now. We're not going to talk about this anymore.
Yes, no more Bible time. They should get him to be God of War. Boy.
And then, yeah, the mom, she was too far gone. Like, even if she probably was easy to corrupt, but she was too hysterical to really, I think, be useful as a witch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, in the end, yeah, this one's, I said in the end, and then my brain just saw practicing witchcraft on the thing. The other, we also ran out of the 30-minute time, but one of the things that I also remember from this movie when it came out is like, how do you say this movie? Is it The Witch? Is the Vivitch? like
I like the way it looks in posters with the double V.
Yeah. But then nobody knew how to pronounce that. No one's like, what's this movie called? Oh, just The Witch? Then why is it Vivitch?
Yeah. I guess if we're out of the timer, do you have anything else in your notes?
Let me scan. I think we got most of it. We didn't talk about a lot. Bunny Witch.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess that's another theory. In theory, the goat could have been fine, and then when she went to bed them, the rabbit came up and might have cursed the goat.
Yeah, because I don't know. Like, it felt like, at least the twins were being indoctrinated before the rabbit showed up. Maybe the Black Phillip was always there, and then the witch was one of the bunnies, and
that's how they were talking to each other.
Yeah, because that way, like I know you're a rabbit person, but man, they definitely chose a rabbit that was just like, it's got some creepy eyes, just like.
Yeah, there's the book the rabbit they chose reminded me of a book cover for one of the versions of the book called Cursed Bunny. So I'll have to see if I can find which version of the cover, because the one I have looks like a cute bunny. Oh, this cover version.
I looked over and then I saw the picture you posted earlier and I was like, that's not the.
That's not cursed. That's a cute bunny. Yes, I agree. I concur.
Maybe a destructive bunny, but still.
A different kind of curse.
I guess while you're looking for that, I'll just scan through my notes one more time. Let's see. Child leashes. Yeah.
That's a cursed bunny.
Yeah, that's sort of what it looks like. The other thing is when Thompson is milking the goat and blood comes out and she's like, what the dump? And the kids are like, oh, you cursed.
You did the witch things.
She's like, oh, you. It's like, was that us? Yeah, I think so. Oh, you.
I know. And then she goes to her parents. They're like, you know what else she did? They're like, what? They're like, she turned the goat's milk into blood. And she's like, what?
It's like, man, it must have been a wild time to live in the 1600s where you could just say anything.
Everybody is so scared of everything that they believe you. Yeah.
And you didn't need social media to help you do it.
No, your only reference was, you're scaring me right now. You must be the witch.
Wait a second. Why do in my notes I have wolf and witch? Wait a second. Do you remember what he said about the wolf?
During his
his
final readings.
Ecstatic leaving.
Ecstatic leaving. When he was in the Lord's lap, as he liked to repeat multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't remember what exactly he said about a wolf. Let me see if I can find quotes.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering.
She desires of my blood. She sends them upon me. They feed upon her teats, her nether parts. She sends them upon me. That's one of them. Nope, that's the lap quote. Not reading that one.
I will. No. There's the Black Phillip line. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? What?
And I can't read this website because they're like, you block ads. I'm like, yeah, why do you think I do it?
I think I found it. It was on IMDb. Cast the light of countenance upon me. Spread over the left and I love. Watch me never flowing.
No, that's the one I didn't want to read.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the beginning. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. A toad, a cat, a raven, a great black dog, a wolf. She desires of my blood. Oh, never mind. I read too much into it. I saw a raven and I got excited. But yeah, that's the full.
Okay, because like I was wondering if because there was the raven there wasn't. I don't think there was ever a toad, but it's like
they did have a dog.
They did.
They had a dog.
I missed that.
No, you didn't, because you warned me.
Oh,
you
yes.
said there's a scene.
I saw the scene and it was gone. Yes. I completely forgot about that. Oh, hey, you posted it all right there. Let's see. A great black dog and then a wolf. Yeah, it could, like his, it could also just be the preying of as you put it earlier, boob witch, on him. Let's see. I thought there was something, but I don't know.
Alright. If
Yeah,
you don't
I think
have
we're
anything
good.
else,
I
then
think I said everything that I could think of.
then I will ask the question: would you recommend this movie?
I don't have any problems with the movie, but I don't. It's like if you see it, cool. If not, cool. Like I don't.
Yeah, I'm neutral on it. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's a must-watch.
Yeah, like if you're looking for something.
If you're really obsessed with that kind of time, like the witch hunt trials and stuff like that, then yeah, this would be something you really are into.
I think this was happened before all the witch hunt stuff.
I'm sure it happened before, but I mean, like, that same kind of fevered
vibe,
energy, yeah.
So, it's not a terrible movie, but it's like, it's a good date movie.
Yes. Yes, for sure. With your siblings, especially.
Yeah. Teach them young.
Teach them young about incest?
Oh, I was thinking of more of witchcraft.
No, you said it's a good date movie, and I said, yeah, with siblings, and you just agreed with me. You said teach them young. I was like, whoa.
I was thinking more of the witchcraft angle. I forgot about the incest. That's a line that never thought I'd be saying. But yeah, I feel like it's not really a horror. It's not really a thriller. It's just more suspenseful.
I think it's a good period piece. Like, for if you liked stuff like, which one is it? Is it The Crucible? Where it's kind of set in a similar time frame where it's all about like people accusing people of stuff. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, if you like that stuff, cool. Or if you need something like you just are looking for a short movie because it isn't long. Like I don't know if it would have benefit if it was longer, but
no, I think the pacing was fine. I think it had a lot of really good lighting. I think it had a lot of really good dialogue.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think the thing that makes it kind of like okay for me is that it's a very kind of predictable plot line because I think it's because it's a time period where people have done a lot of movies and media on it that it kind of like it fits within the category. Yeah,
it's not like breaking the mold. Like it's so like I don't know. I guess if they were gonna do anything, if they were gonna do anything different, like because it's gradual, but it's just like it does move pretty quick. Where it's just like I don't know. I think it would have been neat to see like the events of like. I guess more the building because like it kind of just kicks you out and then it's right into like
I
everything.
Guess
it's just like what because I guess that's the hard thing to know is like what was family life before this because it's just like the way it's at least how I was reading is like there was always some sort of contention between.
Yeah, I think it would have made it a little bit more interesting to get more invested in the characters, even if it was just like better, like little flashbacks about like what life was like before. We only have a couple moments where Caleb is like, I miss what apples tasted like, and the mom is like, I wish we never had to leave where we were.
Yeah,
like she's just unhappy.
Like, give it the up treatment, like where they have the short vignettes, like
To
not
make you cry within the first 10 seconds of the
not
movie.
so much that, but just like how it was like, hey, here's 5 minutes of their
lead
whole
up
life
to
together,
yeah.
and it's just like, I don't know, like that would have also taken a lot of time, where it's just like, and
it would have
money.
thrown the pacing off. Yeah, hard
Or-
to say.
Or like I just in time of filming, because it's just like, okay, well now we got to get them all into character while they're going and setting stuff up and everything. And so like I understand, like from a practical standpoint, especially I think this was his first film.
Yes.
So but hey, it's, as I said, we've seen worse first films.
That is very fair. But yeah, I don't have any additional thoughts. So
Me
do you want to
neither.
tell the people what they'll be listening to us talk about next week?
We will be listening to well, each other talk about the movie Saint Maud. I don't know anything about this.
I don't either. I think we did back to back, like we're doing back to back to back, like psychological thrillery type movies.
It wasn't on purpose. It was
Because
like,
I think because just as a highlight to keep, for people, we just watched The Witch. Then we're going to be watching Saint Maud, then The Lighthouse, then X, then Pearl, then Talk to Me, then Green Room. I think they're all kind of like, if not thrillers, at least psychological
Yeah.
or adjacent.
yeah, and then
Our
like,
mental state might not be okay for a while.
and then before that, we did Midsummer and Locke. It's like, okie dokies.
Hey, for us at recording, we didn't have the mental break, but for those listening, we had the mental break and had Life After Beth in between.
And so, but yeah, that is happening. My brain can't think of anything else. So hey, you guys listening to this a month after we record it, don't forget to set your clocks forward today, because that's what's happening today. It's
Our today or their today?
our today. Our today.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sunlight, baby.
Yeah, we lose an hour for people to look at the sun. I'm looking at it right now. There's nothing out there. It's all it's like The Witch. It's the setting of The Witch out there. I don't know what it's like over you, but it's all murky and dark, and I like it. It's really good for lighting when we do these kind of morning recordings.
The earlier ones, yeah.
But I can also see what time it is, and Hop's going to be like, I'm hungry. So anyway.
Oh, I am.
I know. So anyway, thanks everybody, and see you next week. Bye-bye.